Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this week's options watch list. Before I get into the watch list, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, looking at the put to call ratio for the week. Let's see. I don't even have it pulled up yet. Let's see. Go behind today. Put to call ratio is down to 0.50, so it's low. Everyone's on the call side. That's good. We want to see that. Now, one of the predictions I had is that we were going to pull back after Christmas. We had a massive Santa rally. Now that Christmas is gone, well, actually Christmas is tomorrow, but by the time the market reopens, Christmas is already gone. Maybe the market does pull back, but who knows? Maybe the market will continue its strength or chop until the end of the year. Maybe once the new year begins, that's when it will pull back. Who knows? It could be after Christmas, the last week of the year, or it could be the new year of a new week of the new year. It pulls back. I don't know. We'll have to see. Keep an open mind. Anything can happen. So with that said, looking at the economic calendar for after Christmas, let's see. I don't think there's anything really going on. Obviously, Monday's no trading, no news. It's Christmas, obviously. Tuesday, don't see anything. Let's see. Thursday morning, actually Wednesday morning, we have Richmond manufacturing. I don't think that's really much of anything. Thursday, we got unemployment claims and pending home sales. That's it. Friday, Chicago PMI. That's it. There's really nothing for news. Remember, it's the last week of the year. We could see some shenanigans on Friday at the end of the day. I think last year, day of the year, we saw some really crazy moves at the last 10 minutes of the day. So we could see the same thing here. So we'll have to see what happens. And we get a lot of news out there, a lot of negative stuff, and we'll have to see if anything moves the market and anything gets the market the volatility, kicking the volatility up or something. So VIX, it finally did pop on Wednesday and Thursday. Then Friday it sold off. We don't stay down in this area too long. Like I said, it stays down, it pops, and comes back down and pops. So who knows? We may come back down to the 12 area this week, then pop the next week or the week after. I'm anticipating that January, February, we're going to have a red rest of the winter, maybe potentially the first part of spring. Then we're going to end up having a strong rally summer and fall into elections and stuff like that. So we'll have to see if that ends up happening or not. That's what I'm thinking right now. VIX right now, like I said, popped up. We could end up seeing pull back to 12 before it ends up running again on that SPY. Whoops, I typed SPY in the room. I don't know why I did that, but I gotta delete it. Somehow I was already typing in the room. Let's see. Yeah, SPY, it's consolidating above the 470 area. I mean, all-time high is 479. We're at the 473.65 is what we closed at. The high of this last hourly is 475.90. I mean, we could get a push to new high a day, new all-time high before we pull back. So VIX has popped enough where that is definitely in the cards. And the thing I want to point out is a couple things. One is if we do get a push to all-time high, the market loves to overshoot and undershoot. So if we get to all-time highs, I would not jump in puts at 479.98. Anything, we're going to probably push to 481, maybe even 482. We're going to overshoot that big time because it's an all-time high retest. I doubt we will get to 479 or 480 and reject. We may stall out a little bit of 480 being a round number, but I think we're going to steamroll right through it. And we're going to overshoot it for $1 or $2. Or we're going to undershoot it. We're going to get close. We're going to get to like 478, 479. Then we're going to undershoot it and then dump. The market loves to undershoot and overshoot. It does not like going exact numbers. That's why support and resistance is an area, not an exact number. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking at if it does end up making highs over 475 for maybe a push to 480, 481, 482 for an overshoot. If it does not get over 475, I would watch underneath 472, and we got a long ways to drop under 472, 470, 465, 460, basically every $5, 455, 450, big round number, a big area, that 450 area. Then we get gap support at 445, and we get tons of gaps to fill. I would imagine we're going to fill some of these gaps probably this fall, this winter and spring. So I'd keep an eye on that for it to fill on that. SPY BA. It's kind of consolidating up here after its insane run with RSI over like 90. Crazy. Is it 90? Yeah, it was over 90 over here. Now it's dropped a little bit. RSI's cooled down, still at 77 and above 70 on the weekly. So the weekly got an inverted hammer on the weekly, so it does show we could get some more downside. So I'd watch it under Friday's low of 459, 259 for a push to 255, 250, 245, 240, 235, 230. Got a pretty good area. I can balance at this 230 area and 240 area. So I would like to see BA pull back. And I mean, look at the week. Look at the amount of weekly green candles we had. That's just ridiculous. It's crazy. So keep an eye on that. Home Depot has got the same kind of chart going as BA. Massive run up. Same look up here. Bullish flag. All outside the Keltner channel on the daily and the weekly. The weekly, it does not like being outside the Keltner channel on any time frame on the daily or the weekly, especially long term. They don't like being outside it, so it will likely come back in. If it gets below Friday's low of 347, gap fell down to 343, 340, 335, 330. You get a gap fill here at the 327 area, 325, 320. So Home Depot's got some area, some areas to pull back, gaps to fill, and being winter right now, going into winter, they're probably going to end up having like a slowdown. Then spring will come, they'll pull back. Then when spring comes, they'll start ramping up for spring fever and stuff like that. So Amazon, Christmas is pretty much over with. Maybe Amazon pulls back, but maybe then again it doesn't. Maybe it's got some hope for ER. Maybe it does a little bit of an ER run up, or maybe it just starts pulling back because Christmas is over with. So I would watch it either over 154 for a push to 165, 160. And if it does manage to start falling apart, I watch it on the 152 for push to 150, 145, even 140 on Amazon. So we'll have to see what ends up happening. Maybe it pulls back because now it's lost some steam on the Christmas season. You got head and shoulders on the hourly, you get the left, the head, and the right shoulder. So under 152, definitely we'll put the neckline right there. We can even say 152.50 if you want to be exact. So Amazon, keep an eye on that. So you have to see what happens. Costco just had a huge run. Look at all the candles outside the Keltner channel. I mean, anytime Costco has a major dip, it's worth buying. The RSI is making is above 70 still, but you can see right here it was over 80 and over 80 right here, 80 and 80, and it pulled back just a little bit. So the weekly it's at 80, so not quite an inverted hammer on the weekly, but close. But I would watch for a pullback on this, and get a nice little inverted cup and handle right here. The cup and the handle's right here. So if it does break 660, it's got some room to drop. It gets a gap fill right here at 640 to 630 from ER. So that's gap support at 640. So maybe it does a little bit of a pullback and gets back in the range of the Keltner channel on the weekly and daily on Costco. So anytime there's something's outside the Keltner channel, it's always worth watching because they do end up pulling back into it. Microsoft, it's kind of consolidating right here on the weekly. You can see it's chopping in this range of 375 to 365, but it's making an ascended triangle kind of. If you can, I guess, yeah, you could say that. You draw it like right here, and it's flatlining. So maybe if it gets about 375, maybe it takes off. But That will depend on what the market does. If the market starts going for all-time high, yeah, then Microsoft probably push to 380, 385, maybe make it push to 390. Who knows? But I would also keep an eye on any 370 for push to 365, 360, even 350 on that. Microsoft, Netflix is another one. Kind of, well, it doesn't really look like BA, but it has a little bit of run up. It's chopping up here right underneath 500. It doesn't like the 500 area. So I'm looking for more of a pullback on this. I'd watch it underneath Friday's low of what we'll just round down to 485 for push down to 480, which is this big area. I mean, it could bounce to 480. Plus, you get a head and shoulders on the hourly. You get the left, the head, and the right shoulder right here. So if it gets below 380, 485, if we can see 480 and gap support at 375 or gap fill at 470 on that. So keep an eye on that. Could end up putting maybe a head and shoulders together on a daily. You get the left, possible right shoulder. I mean, you get the left, possible head, then maybe a right shoulder right here down the road. Then it drops down here. You get a big gap right down here. So from earnings gap up to see if that happens. But yeah, keep an eye on that. Tesla made a nice little run. Now see on the weekly, it's broken out over the trend line. It closed over the trend line, so that is definitely a plus on that. It broke out of it, came back, retested it. So I would watch it over through 255 for push to 260. Gets over 260, is probably going to push to 270, 275, even 280. See if there's more upside to up to Tesla. So we'll have to see if that actually ends up happening. So, but remember what I said, Monday's closed for Christmas. You get a short week. We'll have to see what actually happens. Maybe nothing happens. Maybe a lot happens. We don't know. It's the last trading day of the year. I mean, anything can happen. We could see all kinds of shenanigans. So, but that's going to do it for the watch list, and hope to see you in the room. Thanks for watching.